What's up, y'all? Just got my first 20K LTV client, and I wanted to make this video for any new entrepreneurs on all of the different things that went into this so that you can replicate them yourself within your own agency. Because I know what it feels like at the beginning. For me, I was trying different things, some things failing, some things working, some things failing really bad that I have to take a few steps back until eventually I hit the goal and I can now see all of the different things that went into reaching this goal of 20K LTV. And next goal, 50K LTV client, and I'm going back into the maze. So if anyone has any feedback to share on how to reach 50K LTV, leave it down below. But with regards to this current milestone, lesson number 1 is sell to the rich. And so what I offer is a lead generation agency delivering meeting-ready leads to B2B companies. And so a lot of these companies have SDRs, AEs, sales managers, sales directors, etc. And so if they can afford to hire that many employees, they can probably afford you, and you're probably also a better deal. And so what I mean by this is that they're paying for all of the tech stack with those individuals. They are paying for the benefits. They're paying for paid time off. They're doing all of these things in addition to hiring the SDRs who get a base pay and a commission. And so if they can afford to do all of those different things, if you're charging 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, however much you're charging, you're probably a bargain to them. And so lesson number 1, sell to the rich. And so another thing is, if you're selling to those types of companies, they typically have high LTVs, which is how they can afford that big of a team. And so someone with a high LTV can actually generate a high ROI from your service. And so in my case, the client with 20K LTV, their LTV is way more than this. And so if they were to close an A+ deal from me, they would actually be able to pay for the entire year's worth of service that I offer. And so with that type of engagement, it's actually a lot lower pressure because it's like you just need to deliver good deals. And when you do that, they close the big deals, and then it's a mutually beneficial relationship because they're making tons and tons of money from you, and you're also having relatively relaxed engagement that's paying you whatever you want to get paid, right? However, I will point out that lesson number 4 is learning to negotiate. And so a more experienced entrepreneur could have actually made 40 to 100K from the exact same engagement because 1, they know how to negotiate higher retainers. They're able to pinpoint all of the different things that are going to turn into an ROI. And so this is what I'm talking about with this maze over here. And so if you had a more experienced entrepreneur, rather than saying, hey, this is my price, they might actually be like, hey, if I were to bring you one deal and you close that one deal, what would your LTV be? Oh, our LTV would be $100,000. And then they would be like, hey, I'm going to bring you 5, 10, 15 deals like this. What is your closing percentage? And then they would ask all of those different things. And then after figuring that out, they would be able to make a proposal. I just have a flat fee over here, which I'm going to be keeping for a bit. But as I'm thinking about how to increase my LTV, I might actually change this to be more of a negotiation type of thing. Because like I said, more experienced entrepreneurs, I've seen them charging 10, 15K per month. Other ones that are not charging flat retainers, they take on more of the risk. And so they're doing revenue share, they're doing pay per lead, but charging like high lead costs, etc. And so they're able to make way more than 4K per month, etc. And so learn to negotiate. This is another one that I'm going to be trying to implement in-house. Next thing, build trust. I think this actually was super, super huge in this engagement. And so what I mean by that is being transparent with results. And so when things are going great, let them know, celebrate together. When things are going bad, let them know and be proactive with that. I think this is actually super, super important. And I think it actually saved the engagement during the worst month. And so the worst month, we had like some deliverability challenges that were unexpected. We were going on a streak, back to back, meeting ready leads. Like every single day we were doing an incredible job. And then all of a sudden deliverability just goes to crap. But what I did right is I was proactive. I said, hey, deliverability just went bad. Reply rates horrible. I never sugarcoated anything. I just told them straight up, this is the problem, right? And then I purchased new domains and I started warming them up. And so that next month was just really bad. But they stayed with us. They renewed. because we had built trust with them. And so they knew that we had the best intentions. And so one of the ways that we do this is, one, be proactive when results are bad. And then another one is communicating frequently. And so we communicate frequently, and anytime they have an inquiry, we respond 7 days a week. And so this is also super important. I know a lot of agencies respond like 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. I would highly encourage people to just do it Saturday and Sunday as well. And even on Saturday, Sunday, it might just be like, hey, got your message, I'll respond back on Monday. Something as simple as that. But 7 days a week, 24/7 priority support, this is something that I shoot for. And then putting your clients first, they will put you first. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And at the end of the day, like anytime I'm speaking with my clients, that's what I'm trying to get across. It's like, hey, you haven't made an ROI? Fine, let's figure out something that's like going to work for you. And I'm really like trying to like make that happen for them first before I'm thinking about making my own money, right? And if I'm not making money, but they're not making money, then clearly it's a problem with my systems. But I'm going to always put the client first, right? And so build trust. I think this comes a long way, especially when you have those bad months. They're going to be more willing to stay with you during those times. Next thing, solve harder problems. And so this is something that in real time kind of sucks, because like when you're solving those hard problems, like you might need to create 10, 20 plus campaigns to find something that works. And this is not 20 campaigns just like, hey, here's one campaign, here's another one, it's like all of these have clay tables that are unique to them, following different angles, different things, net new ideas. They all had different things go, like it actually took so much effort to create those first 20 campaigns, but they could see the work. They're like, we don't want to do this. But when you are able to do this type of work, they will see it, and it will make you less replaceable, because they can see that not many people are going to be willing to do that. And so solving harder problems makes you less replaceable, which I think is going to be another factor to getting like 50K LTV clients. It's when you're like the one source, essentially. And then LTV matters. I think this is also something else I've learned. And so high ticket recurring plans make it way easier to increase LTV. And so I've been actually playing around with doing consulting engagements. And so these are my monthly consulting rates. We've got $1,000 for one consulting call, and then $3,000 for 4 consulting calls per month, which are actually my increased prices. So they used to be a lot lower than this. It was like maybe like $300. Yeah, $300. And then I increased that to $400. And then I increased it like all the way up. And so when we're talking about LTV is how much the person pays you in the lifetime. And so it's much easier to get someone to pay you $1,000 per hour versus trying to get someone to pay you $300 3 times over. In my experience, it's just been much easier to do this, right? And so you can increase your LTV that way. Another thing is by making the payments recurring. And so my monthly consulting service is recurring. They get 4 consulting calls per month and 24/7 priority support. But this actually has a way lower LTV than my lead generation service. And so that's been something that I've struggled with, but I think I have a solution now. And I think what I'm going to actually be doing to increase the LTV for monthly consulting is just taking these consulting calls down from 4 consulting calls per month to just 2. And then leaving the price the same. Everything is the same. It's just 2 consulting calls per month now. What I think this is going to afford me is usage. And so people are actually going to be using their subscription rather than canceling. And so what I mean by this is we've had monthly consulting clients who have 4 available calls, but they only book 1 call in the month. And then at the end of the month, they're about to renew, but they say, you know what? I've got 3 calls. Let me cancel the plan for now, and then we'll come back again and do the 3 calls at another time. And then I've even had another situation where they have 2 calls available, and then they cancel as well because they haven't used their entire subscription. And so when you just make it go down from 4 to 2, pretty much everyone is going to utilize that to the maximum degree. And by the way, Alex Hormozi talks about that in his school communities and stuff like that. He talks about trimming. just focusing on the core things that people use, rather than adding more and more and more and more and more. It's just what people use, making people actually use the things, and then you should be fine. And in my case, nobody's actually using the 4 consulting calls per month. And so there's no point on doing that. And that's one of the reasons why the LTV suffers there. And then if reoccurring, create systems that make it predictable, follow up, spam, fam, etc. And so in this hourly consulting session, rather than booking one call and then at the end of that call we're done, we could just bam fam. We could be like, okay, cool. So I think we're going to be a good check-in time is going to be 3 weeks from now. Would you like to schedule the next call over here? If we do it on the phone right now, I can give you 15% off the next call. And then they say no. Okay, cool. And then 3 weeks later, we follow up. And so these follow-up systems, I don't have that. And I'm probably not going to have that for a very long time, because I think I'm just going to focus on the lead generation service. But if you were trying to build a consulting business, this is something you might want to do. And then the purpose of this video is really just reflecting on our actions. So what do we do during the onboarding? What do we do to the campaigns? How do we communicate? What kind of results do they get, etc.? All of these different things, you want to analyze them. So the moment that you figure out something that works, analyze what worked about it so that you can repeat it again. If you can repeat it again, then that's how you build a big business, right? And this is what this image looks like. Once you figured it out, figure out how to put every single person through this path over here. Because the more you keep doing this, the more money you make. And so that's what step 6 is over here. And so that's how I'm going to try to get a 50K per month LTV client. And so hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll be happy to help. Cheers.